Okay, for our next tool, we're going to explore surface area configuration. So the same process, just search for it. Surface, run program. Now, this has the same feature with Configuration Manager where you could manage the different services available. But here, you could automate the process. Like, for example, under this server, MS SQL Server, you could automatically, or you could set the startup type, automatic, manual, or disabled. So that when later you're going to use the service again, then you don't have to set it to start every time you use the server. And then lastly, this is SQL Server Books Online. Now, SQL Server Books Online is the official documentation of SQL Server, of which you could explore the different queries if you're not familiar with how to use them. Like for example, you want to search how to use query, select query. So just type select the keyword that you want to search, select, and then select from. Okay, select query. So this is how a select query should be structured and how to use them. Next, for example, you want to know what are the aggregate functions. So aggregate functions. So aggregate functions are and so on. So the following are the different aggregate functions. So you could explore these different aggregate functions using its documentation. So your development would be very easy if you have used this one. Managing databases. Now the physical data files, you're familiar already with the physical data file location of the SQL Server. Now to explore, for example, the physical file of this database OpenLab, right-click the database, go to Properties, and then go to Files. Scroll towards the end, and you would see there the path, no, where you could see the physical files of this database. So go to Desktop Apps, OpenLab Logger, and DBase. So Desktop Apps, OpenLab Logger, DBase, and then the files itself. So that's how easy it is to refer data files in SQL Server. Now, there are three types of data files. So the .ndf, the .ndf, and the .ldf. Usually we see these two, .ldf and .mdf. So when you say .ldf, it refers to the transaction log. So um, they just have named it with .ldf because maybe it talks about logs, no, the .ldf. But how about the physical file? They can't just use .pdf where it refers to a certain compression file, document compression, the portable document file, so PDF. So they just made it with after L, they use M, and then after M, they use N. So L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. So, mga bugoy po ni sila. Okay, so the goals is to maximize the performance by reducing contention and then simplify administration. So the SQL Server has to make sure that it reduces contention. What is contention? Contention are the conflicting rules. No? So sometimes there are some conflicting rules has to be followed, which then results to confusions on what to do. So, para mas paspas ang trabaho, then the rules should be clear and then simple. And then the administration too should be simplified.